Hey guys, so successful movie, and of course, people are gonna have to find something faux or ism about it every time. Notice they never say this about any like bad movie that comes out. It's always the successful ones, as if they're trying to bring it down. But words can bring it down. Tim Burton slammed by fans as his Beetlejuice movie is labeled racist by audiences. No, a small percentage of the audience, because we'll we'll get to that in a second. But Tim Burton has often been scrutinized, labeled as racist over his various movies and TV shows. This stems back to the character Oogie Boogie. So, you know what it doesn't mention here? Let's see. I don't think it actually mentions. Yeah, so do you want to know who voiced the who did the voice of Oogie Boogie? You want to see him? Because these people aren't going to show you, because that kind of destroys the whole narrative. Ken Page, a black man, provided the voice of Oogie Boogie, a character they claim is racist. Oogie Boogie is a derogatory term for African Americans in the American South. And yet, him, as a black man, had no problem voicing the character. Um, Beetlejuice. So, there's a scene which is a reference to a '70s TV show called Soul Train. Sure, everyone old enough remembers that. It was the first show to prominently feature black African American musical acts and dancers. Actress Jenna Ortega's character is sent to the Soul Train on the way to the Great Beyond, which includes a nod to the '70s show. Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, seems like it's just a silly little reference. The Soul Train, taking you to the afterlife. You're having a good time on it, and it takes you to the Great Beyond. Simple enough. Some fans have expressed they are not happy with it and believe it is disingenuous, with one claiming it to be unnecessarily racist and confusing on social media. Because, of course, one woman on TikTok took to making a video telling the public how she felt about that particular scene. She goes on to say, on surface level, now keep that in mind, on a surface level, the scene is fine and it's kind of funny. When you look under that, though, maybe you should just enjoy the scene for what it is. A joke, a reference, that's all it is. There's nothing deeper than that. But people like her and fucking white liberals, they are constantly looking for something. It really felt as if that's how Tim Burton used those who looked like me, and it felt ist, if you know which ist I mean. She goes on to saying in the video that the scene is inherently wrong and disrespectful. However, she said she did enjoy the movie. Yeah, cringy. Only black people in the entire movie were in the Soul Train. Well, you could also see it as not only a nod to the show Soul Train, but possibly that many of the people who were on the show are no longer with us, considering it took place in the '70s. If you're thinking of people who were in their, late 20s, 30s, 40s, some of them may not be around with us anymore. So you can see it as a nod to the show, but also as a respectful send-off to the people who have passed away since the show, and now they are on the very Soul Train, leading them to the afterlife. If you want to look deeply into it, there's another, possible direction that you can go, instead of just saying, oh, it's racist. It's racist, people. It's racist. Another said, I'm ashamed to admit I didn't think of it that way until you just, normal people don't. Normal people aren't going to see the Soul Train and think, that's racist. They're going to be like, I'm old enough to remember this. I it's not that deep. It's not that deep. It was a funny little joke, a nod to a show that came out in the 70s. They were trying to expand on the whole afterlife. And since we had a subway, what better kind of, mode of transportation than the soul train? A train that transports souls. And again, you can think of it as a nod to the show, and then possibly a nice little send off for those who have died since then. Maybe obviously their likeness isn't going to be on the on that in that scene, but it's kind of a memory of what the show was, what it entailed, the kind of people who are on it, and it's a nice little send off, a visual send off for their souls into the great beyond. No, it's racist. It's racist. Everything's racist. Everything is racist. Everything. Your cat's outside, the grass growing, the sun shining in only some portions of the world at one particular time. The movies, the jokes. Everything is racist. Hurricanes, celestial bodies, milk, peanut butter. And yes, those things are all things over the years that people have labeled as racist. That's how freaking ridiculous people are. That natural events like hurricanes or a solar eclipse or whatever are labeled as racist because, the solar eclipse wasn't able to be seen by some black communities. Milk is racist because there are a lot of black people who are lactose intolerant. That's not our problem. That's not our problem. If you're going to blame someone, blame their genetics. That's not my problem. It's not. Yeah. So, once again, people looking too hard into a joke. Into a joke. The Soul Train. Nice little reference to the show, while also it's the train in the afterlife, which it's a train for souls. The deceased. And again, with Oogie Boogie, this man clearly had no problem. He was older when it happened, when he voiced the character. Didn't seem to have a problem with it. And every time it comes for some, Nightmare Before Christmas reunion or whatever, he is always more than happy to reprise his role as Oogie Boogie. Whether it be a game, or, a reunion, or a concert, or whatever it is, he has no problem voicing Oogie Boogie. But leave it to the newer generation and white liberals to get mad over something that isn't that big of a deal. Because white liberals like to treat black people like they're fucking stupid and like they can't defend themselves. Guess what, white liberals? Black people are not stupid and they can speak for themselves. Unfortunately, some of them live in this constant state of victimhood where they're just looking to be offended, looking for racism. Oh, they wanted to criticize people who look like me. No, it was a fucking joke. Get the fuck over it. Simple as that. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.